Good morning. Well, finally doing another video. Just over 6 weeks after my prostate surgery. I'm doing a little better. It's been rough. Um, Had some infections, some setbacks. Um, from all the lack of activity, I'm very weak. I'm trying to get back into doing some exercises and stuff. Been overeating a little bit. But I just wanted to give an update on my progress so far. I got my first PSA test back. Uh, zero, zero cancer in my blood right now. Couldn't be happier about that. Um, just want to share, some of my experience over the last 6 weeks. Um, Quite a bit of pain in my pubic area. I'm still at just over 6 weeks out. I'm still can't sit down on that area very well. On a cushion or something, not too bad, but I still kind of have to sit on my, either one cheek or the other. I can't really sit in the middle just yet. That's getting better. Um, I'm not leaking that bad. When I usually leak in the afternoon after I've been up for several hours, a little bit. Um, but I'm able to hold it through the night. Last night I had a little bit of leakage while I was sleeping. I think it depends on the food. A lot of foods are bladder irritants. So that being the focus of this video is I'm getting back on a more uh, extremely low carb, high fat, moderate protein diet. Um, and I'm doing this a little different this time. I'm jump starting it with smoothies, just blueberry and flaxseed smoothies with a little bit of yogurt in there. I'm not putting any protein in them right now. Just getting that for fiber and for prebiotics to get my guts right. I was on antibiotics for over 4 weeks. So, but I am, things are normalizing, and because of what I'm doing. Just wanted to show you guys what I made yesterday. I made a very good keto snack called Pemmican. Pemmican was something that our ancestors and Native Americans used for survival food, and it stores for years. You can put it in your backpack and walk across the country, and 3 years later, it's just as good as it was the day you made it. So I'm going to tell you guys what I used and how I did it. Sorry I didn't make a video of the process. I didn't have anyone to video my process. But what I did was I bought a very lean. Well, you want to use a lean cut of meat. Basically, pemmican is a mix of lard, dried meat, and dried blueberries, or wild berries that you collect, like wild strawberries, wild choke cherries, wild blueberries, wild cranberries, cranberries, and any kind of dried berry that was available in the wild is what they used. So our Indian friends, our Native American friends who were here before us, they used pemmican, and so did the settlers that came from Europe. They actually made a form of pemmican in Europe. Was a little different, but same idea. The fat is hydrophobic, therefore it repels water and it keeps moisture from getting into the food, and acts as a preservative as well as high in calories. So these are what I used was 50-50 mix of fat and protein. So in my mix, they call for using leaf lard or tallow or something like that. But in this modern day and age, you can get a nice refined fat that also repels moisture and or an unrefined fat that repels moisture and is antibacterial and antifungal, and that is unrefined organic coconut oil. So that's what I used. So I used just under 9.9, around 10 ounces of dried beef. That came from about a little under 3 pounds of beef that I sliced up. And I used eye of round. It's extremely lean. So you don't want there to be a bunch of fat in there, because that can give an opportunity for microbes to grow when the fat's like actually attached to the meat and it doesn't completely get rendered. So I used a very lean cut of meat. I dried those out at like 150 degrees for it was about 7 hours, 8 hours, and I got the beef all nice and dry. All I did was add just a little bit of salt to it, and then I took that dried beef and I grinded it in a food processor till it was kind of, shreddy, powdery, and then I dried it some more in the oven for about 2.5 more hours, and just to make sure it was all nice and dry. Then I took that, I blended it up with the blueberries. I had 4 cups of dried blueberries, which made just under a cup of dried blueberries. So frozen. I took frozen berries. I dried them in the oven, same way as I did the meat, and I ended up with just under a cup of dried blueberries. So I added the blueberries. I added the same amount. I had 10 ounces of dried beef. I added 10 ounces of coconut oil. So mixed those together. And then I added just a little bit of honey for flavoring, just to bring out the flavor of the blueberries, because my kids are going to be eating these, and it's still not going to add very much carbs to the whole batch. So each one of these little cubes probably only has maybe a carb. And there's fiber with the blueberries, so it kind of balances out. So anyway, I'll show you what I ended up with. So then after I mix all that together, I put it in a casserole dish, and I put it in the fridge and hardened them up. And I'll show you what they look like. There's little cubes that I made. Smells pretty good. And they're really tasty. I'm not going to eat one right now because I just had my smoothie. But you take these on hikes. Just 2 of those or 3 of those is probably around 1,200 calories. Each one of those little cubes probably about 300 calories. So they're really calorie dense, and they're high fat, moderate protein. It's the perfect balance. And with the blueberries, you get a little fiber and a little carbs. It's a super balanced, high calorie, awesome keto snack that you can take with you anywhere. It doesn't even need refrigeration. If it's really hot out, though, the fat will get soft. So, put them in your lunch pail or whatever, in your little pack that keeps things a little colder. If you're going on a hike or a trip or something, but they don't even need that. They don't need refrigeration. If it's 95 degrees and they're sitting in the sun, they're gonna get soft. But if you can keep them room temperature, they won't melt till, I think, coconut oil melting point is about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So there you have it. Just keep them a little cool, and they'll be just fine. And even if they melt, if they're in something, once they cool down again, they'll reform and be fine. Our ancestors used these, and pretty much even soldiers were rationed pemmican. English soldiers, actually, when they were in this country, fighting over land with the French and Spanish and whoever, and kicking the Indians out. they were rationing this to their troops. That's how, what a wonderful survival food this is. It's like those survival bars that you get in those kits nowadays. They just use shortening, which is lard basically, but it's vegetable shortening that they use in there to give it a high calorie and a high density of calories. But this is a much healthier way to go about it because of the medium chain fatty acids and stuff. So more bioavailable probably with the coconut oil, or as bioavailable with the coconut oil as lard. So there you have it. Little update on my cancer. I'm doing much better. I'm feeling much better. I still have, like the skin around my genitals and the pubic area still sore, still really sore, still having a hard time sitting down on chairs and stuff like that, and having not that much leakage. I'm really only going through a pad, 2 pads a day, maybe sometimes more depending on the level of activity I do. But at night, not having any leakage. I did last night was the first time. I think I was dreaming about peeing or something. So, hey, I put it all out there. I don't pull any punches. I tell it like it is. So yeah, thanks, and I hope that my journey may help somebody that's still along, with this prostate cancer thing. So I just wanted to lighten it up and show off my pemmican that I made. My wife really liked it. I don't know about my kids yet. I haven't tried them out. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope that anybody can and benefit from any of the things I've said today. And hang in there, guys. There is hope, and do your research. Get your opinions. Get your second, third, and fourth opinions. Hang in there, warriors. Zero got this shirt from a group that I'm in called Zero, the End of Prostate Cancer. And so I bought this shirt, and part of the money goes to helping other prostate cancer guys. So, do that. Support yourself. Get help when you need it. I had a GoFundMe page. I still have a GoFundMe page because I'm still unemployed and unable to get back to work just yet. But I appreciate those that have come before me, and I'm hoping that I can give back something. And hopefully I'll get in enough energy maybe to get some kind of 5K run or something going up here so we can raise some money for other people. All right. Peace and love. Hang in there. Prostate cancer survivors and warriors.